All right, thanks for stopping by. I've been tinkering again. This time I bought a hacksaw. You know, things are getting serious when you buy a hacksaw. I have sawed off part of this riser pipe that is part of the handlebars. See, before the pipe was too long and you couldn't just pick it up and remove it like this. You had to fold it down and, wrangle with it to get the pipe out. And now I have sawed off about 4 inches of this pipe, and I put a little mark here by my finger. That's as far up as I'll ever want it. Let me show you. There may be sometimes I'll want to raise it to right there, but most of the time I like the bars low. I just feel more in control. So this is going to be so much easier because it fixes that problem when it's folded up. I'll show you what I mean. So in the last video, I showed you where the bike is folded, put it in the back of the van, the handlebar would still stick through that curtain. But now I can just remove the handlebars and put it down on the rear rack and then put it back in when I'm ready to ride. So this way, when it folds down, goes in the back of the van, everything's hidden behind the curtain. Now this is where it will collapse, but it goes to this side. I'd rather it go to the other side. And if I turn it around to where it would do that, it would kind of mess up the angle of the handlebars. So I'm just not going to use this feature. But that's what it will do. But I think, for me, it's best just to leave that in the up position, lock it down, and then just remove the actual handlebars. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Unlatch it. If I can do this with one hand, I'm golden. There we go. And then just place it right there on the rack. And that's going to fit way better when it's in the trunk space of the van. And you can see I've got the seat already off of it. So there you go. That's the way it's going to fit from now on. Okay, so now let's do a campsite walk around. Here we are. I'm out in Bouse, which is not far from Quartzsite. I'm still avoiding it, but I'll be back there for Amanda's meetup on the 22nd. But right now, I like this place. I'm not far off the road. You don't have to be out here because there's plenty of wide open spaces. I like this campsite. It's got a lot of vegetation, a lot of trees. I like that mountain view. And I will stay here probably 4 days. Amanda and Winston will be here tomorrow or the next day. There's a lot of good places to ride the e-bike out here, especially on the other side of the road. But I chose this side because when I got here, the wind was blowing, and I wanted to be on the upside of the road because there was a lot of dust that the wind was blowing on the other direction. So I got upstream, so to speak, but I really like this site. The road's just right there. So easy in, easy out. This is my second day here. It's been pretty cold, but it looks like a few more days of this, and then the temperatures start to warm up. It's going to be really nice. Cell signal is pretty good here. I haven't used the Starlink since September. You know, I got Starlink again, but I have the kind that's mobile and you can pause it when you don't need it. So I turned it off 1st of October, and I have not re-engaged it since. I really haven't needed it. Everywhere I've been since October, I've had pretty good cell service, but I'm keeping the Starlink around this time because in the spring and summer, I'm going to be going places where I will definitely need it. They changed the Starlink dish in the last month or two to where it doesn't have a pole that it rotates on anymore. It has like a little stand that it sits on. But I was watching Rusty's video. He got the new dish, and he was talking about once he plugged the wires in, he can't figure out how to unplug them for when he puts the dish away. So I guess I'm kind of glad I got the old style one because I always unplug my cords, and unravel them and then roll them up nicely to store it away. So I would not want one that gave me a hard time every time I wanted to unplug the cabling. The one I have just has connectors that look like USB-Cs, and they plug into the bottom of the pole on the dish, and the other plugs into the bottom of the router. And it's easy, just to unplug everything. Over time, once you set them up, the cabling gets kind of twisted. So I like to unplug everything, straighten it all out, roll it up nicely. So I'll keep an eye on Rusty's channel. Maybe he'll figure out how to unplug it. Maybe he just hasn't realized how to do that yet. But I don't know. That kind of worried me when I saw that video. So I'm glad I got what I got. So tomorrow is going to be a big tinker day because when Amanda arrives, she's bringing a lot of packages that I had shipped to her place. I'm so glad she let me do that. I've got a new hanging organizer coming in and some corrugated plastic panels that I'm going to cut to fit to make privacy panels for the driver's window and the passenger side window. So that'll be fun projects to do. I've also got some more rechargeable AA batteries coming in. And let's see what else. More mouse deterrent devices coming in. And let's see what else. Oh, that custom size sunshade for the front windshield. So that's going to be great to try out. I hope it fits because I've been using this piece of Reflectix that I cut. And I did a pretty good job cutting it to an exact measurement. But it's always been a little wonky. So I thought maybe the custom fit was the way to go. I guess we'll find out when it gets here. Let's see, what else is there to report? Oh, the new batteries are doing great. That's the Power Queen 100 amp hour LifePo 4 batteries that I put in 3 or 4 days ago, I guess. I connected two of them in parallel, so now I have 200 amp hour capacity. And all those batteries do, I call them my house batteries. All they do is keep my fridge, my lights, and all my fans running. I have that big Max Air fan in the back door, and then I have 3 other small fans inside. And those batteries never drop below 90% charge. I could probably go a full week of absolutely no sunshine and solar, and they would still be above 30% charge because 200 amp hour is a lot of capacity for the little bit of electrical needs that I have. Actually, my biggest power draw is the e-bike and the Starlink. Without that, I could get by with a 100 amp hour battery and 200 watts of solar on the roof. But I am very satisfied with my solar and battery system. I have 400 watts on the roof, hard panels from Rich Solar, 200 amp hour battery bank, and then I have two 1500 watt hour power stations for running the Starlink and charging the e-bike battery. So I am way above what I actually need. I'm very happy about that because if I was in an area where I was bringing in no solar whatsoever, I've got a lot of battery storage capacity that I could fall back on. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I have 3 200 watt folding panels. So that's 600 watts right there in the cargo box. So I got a total of 1,000 watts of solar panels. And those portable panels come in so handy when I have to park in the shade in the summertime. I set the portable folding panels out in the sunlight, and I have long cables on them. Some of them are up to 30 feet long, I think. So I can still remain parked in the shade to keep the van cool, but enough reach on the cable to set the panels out in the sun. So I say all that to say this, my solar and battery system is fine with me. I am so happy with what I have. I had mentioned before that I might change out my charge controllers to MPPT, but then I thought, why bother? The charge controllers that I have are working great. Plus, they have these nifty little USB ports on the front of them that I use for running the USB fans. And it's just working fine. And the features of having those extra USB ports on them is really good for me because I have a place to plug in my USB stuff. So I'll be leaving that alone until it breaks, and then I'll replace it. Well, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care, be well, and smash the bell.